So I just wanted to review, where's my fertilizer going? I get that question a lot. I know I put it down on the ground. I know I've purchased it. Well, where's it going? So here's a red arrow that's already going to kind of tip you off. I'm going to show you a couple of places where your fertilizer goes. Also some great tattoo ideas for spring break coming up. No judgments here. Spring break city, Kansas City, right? But we'll talk about nitrogen. Nitrogen feeds the whole plant. And I think this is a good callback to yesterday's talk about the sunlight. I think the speaker said 3 million exajoules a year of sun energy hits the earth. Our entire industrial energy grid produces 500 exajoules of energy a year. So lots of sun. Plants have the thing that can take that sun energy and turn it into something useful like yield, right? And chlorophyll is the way they do it. It's the pigment that keeps the plants green, and it's also the pigment that makes that translation, sun energy into biological stuff that we can use. And so if you've ever wondered where your nitrogen's going, here's actually the chlorophyll molecule. This is that tattoo idea I mentioned earlier. But there's your nitrogen going right into that chlorophyll from the soil, from your fertility program. That's what we're trying to do. No matter which crop you're growing, they all contain chlorophyll, and that's a big demand for your nitrogen fertilizer. We can keep extending this out into a couple more examples. When you're growing yield, even as a person, and you're growing, you've got to replicate your DNA to replicate cells. Well, here's DNA. DNA is made out of nitrogenous bases and RNA, so we need the actual nitrogen to create genetic material. If you've ever grown a crop and you're trying to grow protein, like say a durum wheat or some of our grain crops where you're paid on protein, here's the nitrogen in the actual protein. This is the basic building block of a protein called an amino acid. Every single building block of a protein has a nitrogen in it. So that's where your fertilizer is going. That's why your crop is so dependent on nitrogen. Chlorophyll, genetic material, protein. So basically everything a plant does, you've got to have nitrogen.